It's an honor to be a part of this moment. Derrick, congratulations. You represent what it means to be a Chicago Bull. Thank you for believing in this city. Thank you for giving everything you have. And thank you for inspiring the next generation. Once a Bull, always a Bull.
He walks away with grace and his number in the sky. But while the Chi cheers, the vibe in LA is getting cringeworthy. One icon bows out at 38, while the other is gripping the throne at 41. The difference is stark, and honestly, folks are getting heated. Is Bron tarnishing his golden reputation for a check, or has he earned the right to ball until the wheels fall off? Sound off below. Reporting from the Madhouse on Madison, this is Jeremy Rose. Let's break down the gut-wrenching, beautiful spectacle we just saw in Illinois. The youngest MVP ever saw his number one ascend to the United Center ceiling. Pure chills, pure emotion. That is exactly how you write the final chapter. Let's run the tape. 10, 9, 8. The faithful froze in single-digit wind chills just to salute the savior of Chicago basketball. Rose held court with the squad, Noah Dang, Taj Gibson, the original grit and grind crew. He crossed the finish line with a level of dignity most players never find. And look, the rafters in Chicago aren't crowded.
Chicago stadium. Like, this is not just a jersey retirement. You got a lot of arenas where jerseys get retired, and there's somebody, you be like, who is that? And not the Chicago Bulls arena. It ain't that many. It's about 4 or 5 up there. And so this is huge. That we after Jordan, you know, in that era, that we're getting another player, you know, in this new era, jersey retired. Man, D Rose, you're him.
But then you look at the other side of the coin, and things get a little bit.
We need to talk about the king-size problem in the room, LeBron James. Rose is hanging them up at 38 because he respects the game's cycle. LeBron is 41 and still demanding the crown. Listen, no one denies Bron was a deity on the floor for 20 years. Scoring champ, 4 rings. We respect the resume. But when does longevity become hanging on too long? You're 23. You're golfing now. Dropping your 23rd sneaker. You're on this Forever King victory lap. Is there a pattern here? Are you trying to tell us something? Nah, I'm not dropping hints. Seriously. Look, I know I'm past the peak. I'm over the hill, obviously. Come on. I'm not doing another 23 years. Hell, I'm not even doing another 10. The end is near, and I'm prepping for it. I'm not done today, but I'm grateful to still be sitting here. You mentioned year 23 in the golf clubs. Listen, guys, picking up a hobby isn't a retirement announcement. It's wild. I use chopsticks. Oh, he's retiring. I wear a baggy shirt. Retirement. I hit the golf course. He's done. I'm just living my life. It's a hobby. Retirement is coming. Sure, it is coming, but not today. Meanwhile, James is pocketing $52 million this season. $52 million for a 41-year-old who can't backpack a franchise anymore. It feels less like a victory lap and more like a bank robbery on the Lakers' salary cap. Rose leaves as a god. LeBron is becoming that dude who refuses to leave the club after the lights turn on. The fans are exhausted. The media is over it. You know, the Lakers brass is staring at that $52 million bill, wishing they bought a roster instead of a retirement tour. At the season buzzer, I wasn't sure if I had another run in me. I know the pundits put words in my mouth, but hear it from me. I have to ask, can I play without disrespecting the sport? Can I still give 100%? Honestly, that question has haunted me for a few summers now. I just kept it quiet. It's not about the scoring record or the stats anymore. It all comes down to one thing. Am I cheating the game? The minute I can't leave my heart and soul on that hardwood, I'm hanging them up. Well, guess what? You're stuck with me. But man, the irony in that statement, it's suffocating. Picture this. LeBron announces his farewell tour. The league, they would have rolled out the red carpet from coast to coast. Fans would have smashed the voting buttons, guaranteeing him an all-star spot with record-breaking numbers. It wouldn't be about skill anymore. It'd be the NBA's classic golden parachute for their golden boy. He could have taken a victory lap, collecting parting gifts and standing ovations, exiting the stage like a true king. But no. He grabs the cash, suits up, and forces us to watch him gasp for air chasing 22-year-olds who grew up studying his moves on YouTube You aren't just the MVP, Pooh. You are the champion of the people, the people's champ. Derrick Rose's night in Chicago, that was raw. That was real. He spoke about being nothing more than a vessel for that city's spirit. He didn't stick around to pad his stats or drain the Bulls' bank account. He recognized the clock had hit 0. There's honor in knowing when the party's over. LeBron, though, he's still trying to DJ after the lights came on. Yeah, he's on the court with his kid. Heartwarming stuff, sure, for the first 5 minutes, but when that moment costs $52 million and anchors your team to mediocrity, it stops being cute and starts feeling greedy. Look at what Chicago did, raising Rose's number to the rafters. They put him right up there with the gods, Jordan, Pippen, Sloan, Love. They didn't rush the process. They waited for the perfect moment. They didn't hang that jersey while he was riding the pine somewhere else. They waited until the man himself had found peace. Meanwhile, LeBron treats the league like his personal ATM. He's hogging a roster spot, crippling the salary cap, and sucking all the air out of the arena. Chicago fans sat glued to their seats for an hour postgame just to witness Rose shed a tear. They adored him because he was one of their own. LeBron, he's a multinational corporation, and corporations don't have a heartbeat. It's all about the bottom line. And frankly, that is exactly what is playing out before our eyes. This is a pure cash grab, an ego trip, a total denial that the King's reign is ancient history. We have watched legends fail to read the room before, but usually they don't demand $52 million a year to play average ball. They take the vet minimum and teach the rookies how to be pros. LeBron acts like he's the center of the universe, while Derrick Rose sits in a luxury box with old friends, his legacy perfectly preserved. You have to laugh to keep from screaming at the double standard. Imagine Rose trying to hang on until 41, limping down the floor while cashing a $50 million check. The fans would have rioted. They would have demanded he be cut. But since it's the King, the media tells us to be thankful we get to watch him jog. And let's keep it real about that defense. His effort on the defensive end, it's basically non-existent. He calls it roaming, but he's really just camping in the paint, hunting for a viral block while his assignment drains an open three. He started the season on the bench with sciatica. Yeah, sciatica, probably from hauling that $52 million to the bank vault. He ghosted the first few weeks. First time in 23 years he wasn't center stage for the opener. And since he decided to show up, the performance has been, well, let's just say 22 points a night. Doesn't mean much when your plus minus is in the gutter. He's getting roasted by kids who were in diapers when he got drafted. Now, even the players are starting to lose respect. Young guns like Anthony Edwards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they look at him like he's just another obstacle. They don't fear the chase down block anymore. They know he can't get there. They see the gray beard and the heavy legs. Chandler Parsons called him out for dodging the All-Star game with an injury, asking if he would have miraculously healed if Bronny was playing that weekend. The mystic is dead. The invincibility, gone. Rose gave his entire soul to Chicago. He never brought them a ring, yet that city treats him like a conqueror. Why is that? Because he was authentic. He didn't have a PR machine scripting his exit. He played until the wheels fell off, then bowed out. LeBron is so obsessed with controlling the narrative, he's actually destroying it. He's turning into the guy who leeched off the Lakers in his 40s instead of the Titan who owned the 2000s. If the league actually cared, they'd look him in the eye and say, LeBron, the ride is over. Accept the farewell tour, smell the roses, and let us hang your jersey while the world still remembers you as a god. But the front office is handcuffed by the revenue he generates. And the King? He loves the direct deposits way too much to walk away. It is a cash grab carousel that is finally starting to turn the stomach of the fan base. Just rewind to that showdown against the Bulls on Saturday. Kevin Huerter drills the dagger and practically leaps into his squad's arms, a pure homage to that legendary Rose buzzer beater from the 2015 playoffs. That is raw impact. That is a legacy flowing through the veins of the next generation. Ask yourself, in 10 years, is anybody going to be mimicking a LeBron tribute with that kind of soul? Or will they just be refreshing their banking apps to see if they can siphon a few extra million before they clock out? D. Rose gave it up to his mom, his brothers, the crowd. He was grounded. He was a servant to the game. LeBron operates like a Fortune 500 CEO, and right there is the divide. One is a hooper whose absence leaves a void. The other is a conglomerate we are literally checking our watches to see vacate the building. The gap between Rose's swan song and LeBron's mercenary era is blinding. You had Bulls players rocking Rose gear during shoot-around. The arena screamed MVP until their lungs gave out. That night honored a glorious past. James is dragging us through a grim present by force. He is holding us hostage, making us watch a 41-year-old frame attempt physical feats it hasn't pulled off reliably in 3 seasons. It isn't heroic, it's painful to watch. The truth of this 2025-26 campaign is that Bron is strictly in business for Bron. He is pushing that scoring title into the galaxy just to safeguard his ego. Meanwhile, the Lakers' win column is plummeting 6 feet under. The man is stuffing the stat sheet to justify a $52 million robbery while playing absolutely zero defense. Watch him on the court, hands glued to his hips, eyeing a fast break like a bystander, and it hits you, the king isn't competing. He is just a spectator who happens to be wearing the uniform, and the media protection racket, it is laugh out loud funny at this point. They loop one monster jam from the first quarter to convince you he is 25 again, conveniently burying the fact he was a -12 and surrendered 4 uncontested layups because sprinting back was too much work. The double standard is wild. Any other guy cashing $52 million checks to be a defensive turnstile and a part-time employee would be public enemy number 1. But Bron skates by on credit earned in Cleveland and South Beach. The whole sciatica narrative was just the opener. It established the script for a season of load management. This isn't an athlete anymore. This is a diversified portfolio. And while the asset is tanking on the hardwood, the maintenance fees remain astronomical. Los Angeles is trapped. They inked a deal. They dug the grave. Now they have to lie in it while James hogs the covers. Rose spoke on a spiritual frequency that bonded him to the people. LeBron has a frequency too, but it sounds a lot like a credit card terminal processing a transaction. The streets are waking up. The GOAT debate is dead and buried because a true greatest of all time doesn't linger long enough to become a punchline. They don't hang around until the bleachers are literally pleading for their resignation just so the franchise can breathe again. Picture being a Lakers rookie, busting your tail, knowing the front office can't buy help because a 41-year-old is draining the cap to fund his cryotherapy and wine cellar. The vibes are radioactive, and the shade thrown at LeBron. He ordered that off the menu himself. Respect is rent due every day. You don't get a voucher for 2013 dominance when you are getting roasted in 2026. Comparing Rose's exit to LeBron's refusal to leave tells the tale of 2 completely different spirits. One lived for the ball, the other lives for the brand. Rose bowed out with tears of pure gratitude. James is fading out to the soundtrack of groans from a fan base desperate to turn the page. Let's drop the act. The Emperor has no clothes, the defense is a ghost, and the salary is highway robbery. If he gave a damn about the purple and gold, he'd sign for the vet minimum or ride off into the sunset, but that ain't happening. He is going to bleed that contract dry down to the last copper penny. Derrick Rose is immortal in the Windy City. LeBron James, he has become a luxury tax headache that L.A. can't shake until his bank account is satisfied. And looking at the track record, that day might never come. One myth exits with fireworks, the other is just dragging the show on for the loot. If you agree, it is time for the king to finally abdicate the throne and let the Lakers rebuild. Smash that like button right now. Lock in and subscribe so you don't miss a second of our NBA breakdowns. Catch you on the next broadcast. You want me to expose specific games where the Kings' defense was absolute trash? Or should we dive deeper into the Bronny factor? Drop a comment below.